US dollars on a terrific airport, not even Changi or Hong Kong, but a good airport, $1 billion doesn't go very far. You need a longer term payback period on that, and Australia is an example where the airport leases tend to be 100 years or 99 years, and while it may not be appealing to go that far out, but certainly 25 years is too short. So PPPs normally is a matter of the government and the legislature putting the structures in place to allow a proper, robust commercial operation to be conducted and to be constructed. So that would be my takeaway.
Thanks, John. The next area we'll just touch upon briefly, and I know it's covered off this morning, environment, but I think to me the environment is not just the environment as we all think of greenery, but I think it covers up on a few other aspects, and I'm curious to get the panel's thoughts regarding energy and energy consumption, if there's any thoughts on that, or infrastructure in itself. So any observations or improvements that you think can make for a better operationally efficient infrastructure, primarily airports, and then any security pieces. And I know we've covered off security this morning, and one aspect we didn't really cover off is a fairly new one, but it's already having inherent challenges, and that's around cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, you may not think touches upon our airports, but it does, from the control towers through to the networks that we have in place. So curious to get, again, the panel's thoughts. Look, you got any thoughts regarding the environments and what you'd like to see in aviation and the airports infrastructure?
Yes, so actually that at the perspective of the frequent flyer passenger, so I travel every week on the airplane every week. I travel 5 continents, few hundred airports in the world. So have a lot of discussion in this topic in Vietnam. For example, the airport infrastructure in Vietnam, we talk about the airport development in Vietnam is long way to go. We need to know that airport, now you can see about Tasha airport is overload already, have a lot of airport in secondary city, like Nha Trang, like Dallas, something like that we need to improve. However, one of my concerns is the architecture and also the build airports. Not for me as a customer, I had to view the modern airport in the tourist city. So if you go to the beach city, you go to the tourist destination. I love to beautiful airports, more environment oriented design, something like that. Look at Dallas. Hey, I come to Dallas. It's the south tourist destination in south of Vietnam. So it's look like airport in Haiphong, in the city. So I think that have a lot of discussion here. So we are the Vietnamese. I prefer the ACV and CAV to have the better architecture, with the consulting company to make the better product for the customer. Thank you.
Tony, any thoughts around environment? That, as I say, it doesn't have to be about plants.
I think part of the problem we have as airline operators is every day we blow tons of non-renewable hydrocarbons into the stratosphere. However, that doesn't mean that some of the non-fossil fuels and other solutions are not on their way. touched on cybersecurity. I think Vietnam, unfortunately, has had a couple of attacks. One was a young kid seeing what he could do, and he managed to get through the firewalls. However, the potential for cybersecurity breaches and for the removal of a departure control system or a flight planning system operating within an airport can stop the airport completely, can stop the airlines. If you can't get your flight plans to your crews, if you can't get the load checks to your crews from a central location such as American Airlines set up in Dallas, if you can't do that, then there's some great difficulties. So I think the biggest single risk and being built into some of the airport and airline emergency response plans now is cyber security breaches, because absent terrorist attacks, absent air crashes, which occasionally happen but not very frequently, the response to cyber security can be measured in days now, which can really cripple the operation. So we're hopefully emphasising that as a takeaway at the moment.
I also agree with you that every airlines, the airport security, airline security, not limited to terrorism, but accidents, natural disaster. There's nothing we can compromise about, and I think each representative of airlines and airport continue to study together for multiple cases, what is happening in the other world of the airports, what's happening, what makes things better, what can be learned. And I think open discussions to improve and maintain the security level is probably one of the things that we can start right away to improve better.
Thank you very much. That's great. And just as time is drawing to a close, I do want to take some of those questions that everyone's been thinking about over the last 30 minutes. But what does the future look like? And I think we're all interested in what does the future look like for us as airlines, and in sense, what does the airports that we operate look like as well? So I'm curious to get your thoughts. How important are the partnerships in the regional vision? And I know we touch on that slightly, inclusive of low-cost carriers that play a significant part in our business, and as we touched on earlier with Hart regarding the venture that we have here between Qantas and Vietnam Airlines with Jetstar, and also the customer experience. So just a few thoughts regarding the vision of the airport, the alliances, the customer experience and technologies, and what you think that looks like to ourselves and also to our partners and suppliers.
I think the alliance and partnership is the future for airline industry. And now we got some alliance, and Vietnam Airlines, the member of SkyTeam Alliance with 20 members inside. And not just only the member of SkyTeam, Vietnam Airlines got several cooperation could share fly with some other airlines, and including our strategic partner ANA, and something like that. The ownership of the other airlines, the joint venture between the airlines on the route. The real example is the ANA got ownership on Vietnam Airlines, and we are Vietnam Airlines now working with our members in SkyTeam for joint venture, and we are working with Air France, with Aeroflot for that. And I think the future is the alliance and partnership for legacy airlines to survive, to compete in the market, and to compete to the growing of low-cost airlines. And for this low-cost airline segment, the trend now, legacy airlines set up a subsidiary, so maybe a joint venture like Vietnam Airlines and Qantas to set up Jetstar Pacific in Vietnam. But there is a trend that legacy airlines set up 100% own low-cost airline to fully control and manage. The way like service, Qantas got 100% ownership on Jetstar in Australia, and Singapore Airlines buy more share from Tiger Scoot. So the way that low-cost, the way that legacy airlines set up a subsidiary, not just only the low-cost. Singapore Airlines, they got Scoot for low-cost, long-haul low-cost. They got Suez for regional airlines, legacy, and Tiger for low-cost in short-haul route. And the same as Thai Group, and now Vietnam Airlines, we got Vietnam Airlines, Jetstar Pacific Airlines, low-cost segment, and one regional airlines that using small aircraft, ATR 72, Vasco, Vietnam Air Service Company. So the future, I think, Alliance and Legacy Airline has to set up subsidiary to compete in all the market segment, from the high-end down to the low-end passengers, and can got a range of products provide and meet the demand of the market. And for customer experience, the alliance have the members to provide better service to passengers, to customers. Like SkyTeam Alliance, we jointly develop several projects